Hello everybody and welcome to our check-in video. This is going to be part of our summer music series. We'll be talking about songs and try to see how they connect to life, right? Um, and I've been getting a list of songs from people on Facebook, and I appreciate all the people who have been submitting music. I'm going to try to get to all of them if I can, or the ones that I feel like are appropriate for this talk. So the first song that we're going to talk about today is a song called Help by the Beatles. Now, I love the Beatles, and in fact, I love the song Help so much, it is actually the ringtone on my phone, which can be problematic because anytime it plays on the Alexa or on my iTunes account or something, I always think my phone's ringing. And I look for my phone, even though my phone sometimes is right in front of me or it's like literally in my hand. Like, if you see my phone, it's in my hand. It'd be like me right now because I'm using my phone and be like, have you seen my phone? So here's some of the lyrics from the song. Now, I did read recently that this was actually one of John Lennon's favorite songs. I didn't know that, but I can see why. The song's awesome. So here are the lyrics. I never needed anybody's help in any way, but now these days are gone, I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I've changed my mind and opened up the doors. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please help me? So why this song? Well, I know if you're talking about a school perspective, a lot of times kids don't like to ask for help because they think if they ask a question or they ask for help, their peers are going to think that they're not smart. And you can't really think that way because everybody has questions about things. But I know, like when I think about my parents' generation, anytime they were dealing with problems, so many times they wouldn't say anything to us because they didn't want to show it as a sign of weakness, asking for help. And that's the thing. So many people think that asking for help is a sign of weakness, but you can't think that way. Everybody should know that at some point people need help, right? So if I have to do any kind of maintenance work around my house, I ask for help, right? If somebody if my mother-in-law or somebody happens to need computer help, they ask me, okay? So we all have our own little thing that we help each other out. But just like I've said, I feel like my purpose is to kind of try to help make people feel better. But how I get a chance to feel, useful is being able to help others. So when people ask me for help, I enjoy it. When they ask for, advice or whatever, I enjoy that too. So when you're thinking about the song The Beatles and Help, I want you to know that it is okay to ask for help. If you are stressed, if you are anxious, if you feel like you need someone to talk to, ask for help, okay? You can't, even in the Beatles song, it talks about how, back in the day it was fine, I need help, but now I'm changing my mind because I realize I really could use your help. So just, keep that in mind, okay? The next song is, this was brought to me actually by a supervisor in the district that I work in, and her name is Mrs. Corbell, or Madame Pace. Of course, I probably said that wrong because I usually call her by her first name, but she and I have worked together a long time ago. She was a French teacher in our building. Now she's a supervisor. And she was a fun, enjoyable person. She would always crack me up. And getting to work with her on a project way back in the day was awesome. But the thing that she wrote on Facebook was that she's a big believer in like words and lyrics, etc. And hopefully I'm not getting this wrong. So, but she had mentioned the song Piano Man by Billy Joel. Now I love Piano Man. And I have heard that Billy Joel can't stand singing that song because he has to sing it so much. But here is a lyric that she had mentioned that I wrote down. It says, this is Billy Joel, he's pretending he's singing the song, but he says, "Son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes." And the point that she was trying to make was the connection to the wearing the younger man's clothes, meaning how it used to be. And I think sometimes, life goes by really quickly, right? And because it goes by so quickly, sometimes we either don't take in the things or we don't really have a chance to process things as they're happening because it seems like it goes by so quickly. And I remember Facebook does this thing where they'll say, here's your memory, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, as long as you've been on Facebook, something that happened on this particular day. And there was a video of my daughter. She was 1. And I watched the video of her. She was crawling, like doing like a somersault or something, but like she'd put her head down, and my stepfather-in-law, I guess that's what he calls him, so he would grab her feet and he would help roll her over, and she'd be so happy she'd clap her hands and then put her head back down and get ready to do it again. So I should have known that she probably wanted to be a dancer or something. But when I was looking at the video of the memory, I realized this video was taken only like 2 weeks after my mother had passed away. And just like that, she's now going into 7th grade. It's just amazing how time flies. And I think sometimes we always look at the good old days, you know? I mean, even Bruce Springsteen sang that song, Glory Days, but you're talking about like way in the back. So enjoy your time as a kid, okay? And really take time to appreciate it, you know, because time will come by, well, you will be sitting somewhere and say, I remember way back in the day when I was 12 or I was 13 or I was 11. Those were the days. Like when I see my students playing sports and stuff, I get jealous because I was like, man, I would love to be able to do some of those things. Like I feel like my shoulder hurts doing anything, let alone throwing a baseball, but I do miss those times. I got to get in shape. Clearly that's the moral of the story. Not really, but I'm just going to tell myself that. So it's an interesting song. I love that song, but it's true. Sometimes you look back on your life, and the question is, when you look back on your life, will you look back on it as like I lived my life, or I avoided it and just kind of went through it like going through the motions? My advice to you is live your life and, you know, enjoy the moments with your family and your friends. Now, the last 2 songs, this is a wide range of people. It's this one's by the Rolling Stones, and I was very lucky to see them in concert. My father-in-law took my wife and I a long time ago to go see them, and it was definitely, I really enjoyed that concert. But there's a song, you know, here's some of the lyrics, and I know you'll know the song probably. It says, you can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you find you get what you need. And that's one of those things. So I know sometimes you're in school and teachers might have like a rigid structure, or, you know, certain expectations, and you don't like it. You're just like, no. But it is what you need. It might not be what you want, okay? Your family, your parents, you know, grandparents, teachers and everything, they're doing these things for you, giving you structure. They're giving you, even if you get, you know, grounded or something. I mean, I don't know if you do, but if you get grounded or your parents hold you accountable, okay, you don't like it, I'm sure, but the reality is you need it, because we all need that. We all need to make sure that we don't do things that are inappropriate or wrong, you know, so there is always that accountability. So, for example, you know, if I were to say something not nice to my wife, which I wouldn't do because that's just not the right thing to do, and my wife called me out on it, I might say I didn't like that, but the reality is it's what I deserve, was when I need it, right? So sometimes you think, like there's another song that is kind of connected to this feeling, this, you know, it's by Garth Brooks, but I don't think he actually wrote this song. I think he got it from someone else, but I don't remember the musician. Maybe he wrote it. Now I'm trying to think, but it's called Unanswered Prayers. And it's like when he was young, you know, whether there was like a woman he liked or whatever it was, he was hopeful and hopeful and hopeful. He prayed, I want to be with this person, and this is what I want, blah, blah, blah. And then he realized that he didn't get what he wanted, right? And he ended up much happier because he was with somebody who he's meant to be with. So it's that same concept. Like everybody's thinking about what they want, and sometimes the things that you really need are right in front of you. You know, everybody's looking in the future. Everybody's looking ahead. Everybody wants, you know, what other people have. It's like the grass is always greener. They have it better than I do. But the thing that is important to know is you don't know everybody's story. You don't know what's happening behind, you know, closed doors and places. You know, you just don't know. Like you might say, I want to be famous. You know, that's what I want. And then you realize that being famous is being watched all the time. You can't even go to the grocery store. You can't do anything. So I would say just try to take a moment, instead of thinking about things you don't have, appreciate the things that you do, okay? Now, I hope that's not too random, but the last song has very deep meaning to me. And I may have mentioned this earlier because my father had bought me a picture book based on this, but in 2003, I got married, and it was a very happy day, obviously. You know, my father, who was a jazz musician, he played at my wedding, and with a band, which was kind of cool. The drummer of the band that played at our wedding was the drummer of the band who played that song Brandy. You know, it's like, Brandy, you're a fine girl. It's a you could look it up. It's a fun tune from the 70s, I think. And my nephews got to play too. Like, my nephew played guitar, the one played the drums. I mean, it was a fun day. And when it came time for the mother-son dance, the song that I chose was Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. I love Louis Armstrong. I love listening to him sing. I love listening to him play the trumpet. He's an exceptional musician. You know, his whole start to fame came in New Orleans, and he's one of the big reasons why jazz is what it is. He was one of the leaders, right? But he has just that voice. I don't know, I could listen to it all day. But this is from the song It's a Wonderful World. It says, this is only part of it. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. So, you know, I am older than you, obviously, and your parents are older than you, but you are now the younger generation, and you will learn things that we will never learn, right? Just like things that I know my father didn't know, and it's just going to keep going. So you have to think that you are the future, right? You are the people who are going to make the world a better place. And when I say the world, I mean the actual world, but it always starts in your community, okay? First you start in your house. You treat your family with respect, you treat your friends with respect, and then you work in your town, you make sure that you're doing anything you can to make your town a better place. And then it works to the state level, and then to the country level, and then globally. But the thing about that is you have to have that envision that the world will be a good place. Because if you envision the world to be a bad place, it will be a bad place. But the one thing that I will say about these songs, and I'll probably repeat this over and over again, is each song triggers a different emotion inside of you. And the songs that I chose today is one, when you need help, ask for it. Okay? When you need help, ask for it. Take time to live your life and enjoy the moments that are happening now. So that way in the future, you're not just thinking about what it used to be like, the good old days. Let the good old days be from now and forever, right? And knowing that you might want things, okay? But sometimes, as the Stones said, you know, sometimes you don't get what you want, you get what you need, okay? And when we do these things, we have a mentality, we treat others with respect, we're inclusive, we're accepting, we're understanding, then we will, in fact, live in a wonderful world. Until our next check-in, have an amazing day. Peace out.